Good evening. It's a hot and muggy day in Tennessee. I think the heat index got into hundreds today. Whew, it's warm. This morning, it wasn't all that hot outside. Kind of a little bit deceiving that it was going to get this hot today. But as I sat down and was reading the verse that came on my phone this morning, it got me stirred up thinking. The verse was Isaiah 6:8. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me. And I found myself asking myself, is this my heart's desire? Do I say, Lord, here am I, send me? You know, am I willing to go where He sends me? These are questions that should be easily answered. Yes, I'll go, Lord. But it's not so. And then you get this thought, well, what if God sends me to talk to somebody just really can't stand? Or to help somebody who is really mean to you? Well, He may have a purpose for sending us there, but are we still willing to say, Here am I, send me, when the direction He is sending us is to someone that we can't stand, or is going to hurt us, or it has hurt us in some way? Then are we willing to say, Here am I, send me? Then I'm reminded of the cross. And Jesus asking God to forgive those who drove the nails in His hand, that spit on Him and hit Him and beat Him and screamed, crucify Him. When given the choice to release Him or a murderer, they chose a murderer over the one who had done nothing wrong. And the whole time, Jesus was asking them forgiveness. Asking God to forgive them because they didn't know what they did, what they were doing. Because you see, when God said, I need someone to go and redeem my children, Jesus says, Here am I, send me. Jesus chose the cross because that was the only way we are redeemed. That's the only way we have hope. That's the only way we get salvation, is through His blood on the cross. He didn't quit because it got hard. He didn't quit when it got rough. He could have called, Scripture says, a legion of angels down to set Him free. But He didn't. He chose the cross. He chose us. He was willing to be sent. In that situation and in that light. And not just Jesus. I mean, I know He was God's Son. But we have people from generation to generation. Like Paul, he was beat. He was boiled, shipwrecked. All the disciples, they were martyred in some way, form or another. Crucified even. And they all said, God, here am I, send me. Now they had their faults and their failures and they've made their mistakes. But when God says, who's going to go? They said, I will. That hit me hard this morning. Thinking, okay, am I willing to say, God, here am I, send me? Am I willing to go where God's wanting me to go? Am I willing to follow His lead, no matter where or who He's pointing me to? Do I trust Him enough Or just do I trust Him in general? To let Him have full control. Am I willing to do whatever it takes to be who He's called me to be? That's what that verse spoke to me today. It's almost like God saying, I've got a word that needs to be taught, that needs to reach the world. Who's willing to say it, live it, and speak it? Who is willing to be my disciple? Who shall I send? Are we willing to say, here am I, Lord, send me? I believe in you. God bless.